good to see your beautiful faces. And just a reminder to everybody out there in Georgia, early voting for the Senate runoff races have begun. Early voting goes until December 31st, or you can vote in person on January the 5th. Make sure your voice is heard. So let's get into some girl chat. We got to talk about this Wall Street Journal op-ed that was about Dr. Jill Biden. It was written by a professor named Joseph Epstein. He argued that the future first lady should remove doctor from her name because her doctorate is in education. He said having doctor in front of her name feels fraudulent and comic, and you shouldn't have doctor in front of your name unless you delivered a baby. So, ladies, as you can imagine, social media had a lot to say. A spokesperson for Dr. Biden called the piece disgusting and sexist and said that the Wall Street Journal owes Dr. Biden an apology. Ladies, what do you think about this? Let's discuss it.
I think they definitely need to give her an apology. I mean, we are living in the modern world. This is 2020. She has a doctor in front of her name, and she deserves this, and she's earned it. Would he be saying this if this was a man? Would he even be dismissing it like that? She has earned it. She's an incredible woman. She's gotten her education to the umpth degree, if you will, and therefore she's allowed to do whatever she wants. She can be Dr. First Lady if she wants to be. It doesn't matter. I think this is ridiculous, and this guy should just shut up and go away. That's my
It's incredibly misogynistic. You're absolutely right, Garcelle. It's so weird to even think that when you've gone through the process and the steps to earn, and by the way, to pass and earn your National Teacher Board certification, that it's even up for debate on whether or not you earn the title and can use it. Like, in what day and age do people think that doctors like this man only belong with a stethoscope inside of a medical room? You know what I mean? Like, there are many doctorate degrees, and for him to say this, it just shows how narrow-minded he is and how incredibly ignorant.
And people don't realize how hard it is to get a doctorate. So it's really hard. It takes 4 to 6 years. So go ahead, Munchkin. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, am I bugging? She's not the first person to do this. Why are they acting like she's the only person in the world that has done this? This has been going on for years. People have been Dr. such and such in so many different fields, in so many different areas. Granted, I'm not gonna lie. I am one of those people that as soon as you say Dr. something, my poor ignorant mind normally thinks that they are actually a medical doctor. Like, that's just where my mind goes. Maybe I'm alone in this. Maybe I'm not. But again,
psychology,
she deserves,
even in science.
No, of course. No, but naturally, if I hear doctor, I think medical. Just naturally, that's my first thought. If I'm like, my cousin's a doctor, you normally would think like, like medical field. So I do agree with that. But again, she is not the first to do this. People have been doing this for years, and they have the right to call themselves doctors once they have earned a doctorate. So this is not brand new. You know, she is not the first one to do this. She's not just making up something out of her mind, just all of a sudden, call me doctor. There are plenty of people that go by Dr. such and such if they have earned their doctorate's degree. I don't get why this is a conversation.
The timing of all of this and putting an op-ed like this is just it's so divisive to me. There are other things that we should be focusing on as far as when it comes to op-ed pieces. But, I think we should be grateful that we now finally do have someone that's smart that's coming into the White House as the First Lady. And shout out to our future second man, Doug. He's took up for her.
Doug.
He wrote a little Twitter piece about it and saying how it wasn't right, and I just appreciate that. And I just want people to understand that we try to devalue education in this country.
Yeah.
We have to start remembering that, education helps us all. We're going to have Neil deGrasse Tyson on, and you can see how smart he is. I remember I went to a dinner. This is a quick story, ladies. And someone asked me, they said, why do you always talk about being an engineer on The Real? I said, first of all, I worked really hard. It took me 5.5 years to get that damn degree, okay?
Yeah.
But more importantly, I have a platform, and I want all women to know that, maybe there's a little girl out there that wants to study science, that wants to study STEM, engineering. I want to be an example for her and talk about
So
it. If we
great.
don't talk about this enough, then it never happens. So I think it's important for us to keep discussing it. I'm glad Dr. Biden is going to be a perfect first lady, and it's just great to keep valuing education. Let's not devalue.
I agree
And
with
Lonnie,
you 100%.
too.
I think so many times we make other things much more valuable, like being, an influencer, a rapper, this, not that those things aren't great, but we also have to highlight, being a doctor, being a scientist, being things that you actually go to school and learn for that you can have for the rest of your life. And let me tell you, Lonnie, I toot your horn for you as an engineer. I'm so proud that you have that as your background, and I think it's really impressive.
I appreciate
Also,
that.
to encourage people that whatever you studied in college shouldn't just stay there in that time of your life. Like whatever you studied, that is an honor to carry on to the rest of your life. Even if you're not an engineer today, Lonnie, I see the way you compute things. If you guys have followed our show for so long, the way that Lonnie thinks and delivers information is very much from her engineering background. And even Adrian, when you went and studied photography, that shows up in your love for photography and how meticulous you get in the art of making sure how things look good. So don't just think that whatever you studied in school, because you didn't, end up in that job, it should stay there. There's a reason why you studied it. There's a reason why you're passionate about it. And there's a reason why you still should carry that through your personality and your job today, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. Well, up next, actress and our girl Tasha Campbell recently opened up to Entertainment Tonight about the challenges that she faced following her divorce from ex Dwayne Martin. Tisha claimed that following her divorce, she had only $7 to her name and that she had to basically start all over again. And on a recent episode of Cocktails with Queens, LisaRaye said that she sympathized with Tisha's journey, having been through a similar one herself. Lisa claimed that when she was so ready to be done with her ex-husband, Michael, that she was ready to leave with nothing. That's how done she was. Nothing but her name. She said that sometimes you just get so tired of fighting and fighting that you walk away simply because you deserve your peace. Ladies, how do you feel about what Lisa and Tisha had to say?
I
reminds me
feel
of
this
the
is
time
spot
that-
on.
Yeah, and Garcelle, there was a time where Tisha was one of our guest hosts on the show, and she was right in the beginning stages of this divorce. And obviously, for me, I always check in when I know a man or woman is going through it because it's such a tumultuous journey. And I asked her, how was she doing? And I'll never forget the way she clutched my hands moments before our song went live and our show started to take place. She looked at me, she said, "This is the toughest, excruciating time of my life, but I'm not gonna let it drag me." Turned around and just started dancing to our real song. And I now when I see her kind of share the details of how painful that was, I can't even imagine what we didn't get to see behind the scenes, as Tisha's always been this jovial Tisha. She's always been that for us, So I vehemently understand what she's saying here.
I do too, and I feel like I ran into her at an audition and I asked her how she was doing, and we had a really great, powerful moment. And I have to say, sometimes, what is your price for peace? And maybe her price for peace was leaving with nothing. And I think integrity will take you a long way. She knew that God had her. She knew she had faith. And what I'm surprised by is that they were considered a powerful couple, her and Dwayne. And I actually thought that she worked more than Dwayne, honestly. So it was really shocking to see how she left. But at the same time is that if you want some peace, you can say, you know what? I want to be able to sleep at night. I want to be able to not have a headache. I know God's got me. I know I will get another job. And I think that's what she's been able to do. But we as women, we do this. I mean, I think like LisaRaye, her saying that she left, because she wanted her own peace. LisaRaye also left an acting career to move to Turks and Caicos to start this, this life with this man. And I think so many times we are willing to do that. And I feel like we can't be selfish, but we also can't be selfless, where you're not thinking about you and you just want to go along with the man just to go along with him. So I am proud of them that they were able to do that to keep some peace, but we have to take care of ourselves as well.
I was just going to say,
my opinion on that.
That is why, Garcelle, it is so important to actually recognize peace, because most people will not understand how priceless and valuable peace is until they've experienced it. So if you're younger and you've gone through relationships and you've gotten cheated on, or you're sitting there by the phone wondering, is he gonna call me? If you're trying to define the relationship, all those dumb questions that do happen when you're younger, you don't understand what peace is until you've walked away. And sometimes that doesn't mean finding another relationship. Sometimes that means actually having that silence to yourself. And that's why this whole self-love thing, as trendy of a word it is important to have that for yourself, so you understand what it feels to nurture yourself, to hold your feelings, to make your emotions count. Then you all of a sudden get this feeling of peace, and it becomes a rhythm that you're used to. So when you start dating again and you meet things that bump that, you're like, wait a minute, that's not healthy, and that's why I can't get with that. So when you discover peace, you'll understand how priceless it is. And so I'm telling my sisters out there, do what you need to do to find the peace, and then you'll value those relationships and yourself more than whatever situation you're in.
And also, when you get in these, real quickly, when you get in these situations, you need to check your finances. Just because you married, stop leaving everything to one person, whether you're a man or a woman. I had a friend who she sat there and she let her husband take care of all of the bills. Turned out he wasn't paying the bills. He was investing the money. So you have a right, when you're in a partnership, to ask financially what is going on. Find out for yourself so that if something does happen, you won't be caught without nothing. That girl worked too damn hard in this industry to have to walk away with $7, okay?
So I want to ask, have you ever been out doing your thing in public, all of a sudden you feel that little tickle in your throat? Well, before COVID, you'd probably just clear your throat, right? Lonnie, keep your mind out of the gutter, right? I'm talking about a cough. Now, doing things nowadays that could result you in getting some pretty dirty looks is what we have to worry about, like coughing. In fact, an article was recently featured on Cystic Fibrosis News Today, where a woman admitted that she flat out was scared to cough in public, y'all. She said that something as simple as an allergy could make her target for harassment. So ladies, what do you think about perfectly healthy people being afraid to cough in public?
Well, somebody need to tell that to James. Because James just be coughing, and I'm like, no, he coughs, and he coughs loud with the mask on. We were in the bank the other day, and when I tell you that man coughed, and everybody looked at him, and I even felt
I get it. I get it. I would be running to the other aisle.
Same, Adrian.
So scared.
I get it.
Yes, same. Okay,
So
I agree.
This is my thing.
my
All
God.
I'm asking for is if you cough, please make some sort of announcement that either tells me that, one, you are negative, COVID tested, or tell me what your ailment is before I think I'm dying and I've contaminated.
Are you guys nosed? Are you not already
I
Don't
always
you guys
do that.
find
She
yourself?
has allergies right now. So when she forgets to announce it, I announce it for her. I'll be like, my mom don't got no COVID, everybody. It's okay. She just got allergies.
Right.
Please announce
Not the
yourself
Rona.
and your ailments.
Not the Rona.
I always do that. I'm like, it's not COVID.
That's it. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, but
people are scared.
I'm gonna ask right now, okay? I'm gonna ask, be honest now. Have you guys been in a situation where somebody near you has coughed and all of a sudden you found yourself kind of freak out a little bit? I'm gonna be honest, I held my breath. Like a couple times somebody
me
coughed
too.
next to me, and just in case, I'm like,
Yeah.
No,
holding
like
my
when I
breath.
get on the
It's
elevator,
real.
when I get on an elevator, now, like, I try to get on just by myself, like, but if I have to get on the elevator, I go to the corner and I turn around. I'll be like this.
Yeah, you be in timeout in that elevator. Straight up in, like, time out.
It's real, you guys. It's real.
Wait,
I'm scared to
you
cough.
guys-
I'm scared to sneeze.
when I run downstairs to go like to the mailbox or to feed my meter, if I can't find my mask in a rush, I literally run with this blanket like this.
How can you see?
I need to see. I need to
peek
see that.
and
I need
run.
video of this.
I'll take video. I do it because it's just right downstairs, but I just gotta do it fast because I can't find my mask. Sometimes I'm washing them, sometimes like they're in my bag somewhere. Oh, it's a mess. All right. Well, I'm glad we're keeping each other safe. And as we've learned, just out of courtesy, just announce yourself.